Guys, let's go into this. Let's see what's going to happen. Thank you very much for the 6-month free sub 54 Pathfinder. Some more hearts in the chat, please, as GuMiho will open aggressively in game number 1, so we better get to introducing our players. Bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran is INnoVation. And he is up against the red Terran to the bottom right-hand side from Psystorm Gaming. It's GuMiho. And he will open with the Proxy Rax Reaper here on Newkirk Precinct, game number 1 of this best of 5. So a quick start to the series, as we see these couple of racks on the way down already. So again, this is obviously going to be looking to be aggressive. Now, INnoVation, we saw him earlier against Bjorn. He did play with the expansion-based playstyle both games, but now against GuMiho, he opens double gas, which should give him the best possible opportunity and best possible setup to deal with this aggression. Even if he's not going to scout it, he will have a Reaper early himself. He'll have a faster factory for the Hellions. Let's see how this works out, as we're going to be seeing his own first barracks about to finish up. GuMiho just going to go 2 racks, it would seem, as he pulls away with his first SCV. This is something we saw kind of a little bit as well, even between Alive and TY, I think, in the semi-finals. I think it was TY, maybe, that proceeded the barracks. I can't actually quite remember. Anyways, we see the 2 Reapers on the way out and getting ready to go into this aggression in the next few moments. INnoVation, his first Reaper on the way, factory building. And again, for him, it's all about well, for both players, it's all about the micro here going into this. Let's see what they can make happen. One SCV pulling back just a little bit here, as we see again, factory just building on up. And the main base of GuMiho, absolutely nothing at all, just supply depots coming down in these early stages. So, first Reaper actually going to wait for a couple more Reapers, which actually might be a bit of an issue for INnoVation, because now he sends his first Reaper across the map. What does he build off the factory? He needs a Hellion, realistically, I think. Hellion, and then a starport to come down as well will be a great way to apply pressure afterwards. INnoVation right now, we'll see the first 2 Reapers moving in, and what's he going to do? Well, he might just stay across the map with his Reaper and look to try and do a bit of damage himself. You'll see a grenade going down. SCVs will start pulling towards this. INnoVation moving towards the main mineral line then, and starting to pick his way through some of these SCVs. So SCVs starting to go down. And we'll see 3 Reapers continue to push forwards as well. As you see, the first Hellion is out. Has to make sure he micros it correctly. Sitting in a grenade will not be the answer, though. Cyclone now starting to build as this Reaper does not do damage really across this map at all. Hops back up to the high ground. INnoVation loses the Reaper to SCVs. And INnoVation's micro early on here is not really going his way at all. Looks as though GuMiho is going to win this game. I mean, even with a Cyclone on the way out, right? I mean, 4 Reapers continue to work their way through this mineral line. I think there's just going to be enough Reapers to fight the Cyclone even. So, you're going to see a few more SCVs dropping. INnoVation is not going to have very much left at all, as grenade goes down, and he can just use those grenades to keep on pushing that Cyclone back and continue to do more damage. Another Reaper arrives with more grenades available. GG. And GuMiho picks up a 3-minute 30-second game 1 of the racks. They're going to arrive pretty quickly anyways. I mean, this game can create great macro games if we do get past the super early minutes. Let's see how this goes. Top left-hand side, blue Terran player, it's INnoVation. Everything just starting to go wrong for him in game number 1. And he was not, unfortunately, able to stabilize at all. As to the bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player is from Psystorm Gaming. It is GuMiho. Okay then, so we set up towards game 2 of this TvT. You see a refinery opening up for INnoVation in the main base right now. So refinery coming on up over here already, setting that up, ready to go. And we're going to see racks coming down as well. So gas racks opener as INnoVation. Well, I mean, it's not too surprising, right? We're actually going to see Rax gas from GuMiho. But gas first is very standard. Get a Reaper up early, follow up quite quickly with another gas and a factory and so on. Even if you expand off of gas racks, you can get an expansion pretty quickly. See a second gas coming up from GuMiho here. So he will go double gas himself this time. I mean, obviously we didn't really get to see any of GuMiho's TvT yet today. Even that first game, just a proxy Rax Reaper doesn't tell you too much about the potential, follow-up right now as to what he's going in towards. So Rax builds up at the front, SCVs mining away on these gases. I'm just going to be seeing GuMiho moving up towards the upper left-hand side. So, yeah, looking to scout here just early on. INnoVation definitely looking to put that expansion down. Reaper starts, he'll expand, and then as soon as his expansion starts up, the next 150 minerals will go towards the factory, and his gas will line up quite nicely with that. So, again, that's the whole point of gas racks. Gets you the factory up nice and quickly. So while expanding, you do still have access to that early game tech, which in TvT is so pivotal and how the matchup is going to turn out in early game defense, in early game aggression, and all the rest of it as well. SCV here collecting or joining up together over to the far left side. You'll be seeing the factories on the way from both players, and the CC just building up in the natural expansion. There's Reaper starting to come in towards the middle as well. GuMiho still just sat with an SEV, just hiding around. As INnoVation will move forwards also. He's actually going to bypass the Reaper here, so both players will move past each other with their first Reaper. Problematic for INnoVation because he doesn't have another unit building right now. As his Reaper does arrive, bunker starts to build as well. INnoVation will have to get up here, and what do you even focus down, the bunker or the Reaper? I guess the Reaper's kind of important, but he's actually going to take some bad shots. He has to pull another SEV down here, perhaps? I mean, now he's got to wait for his Reaper to regen. Hellion on the way. And this CC is in a little bit of trouble. GuMiho is getting a lot done. SEV does come forward to try and fight. He really wants to kill off this SEV on the high ground. He's going to try and get it, but the Reaper goes down. And this SEV will finish. And so now there's a bunker up, and INnoVation has 2 Reapers with a bunker in his natural expansion. This is probably, I mean, how do you break through a bunker? He's going to have his CC delayed so heavily. So heavily. It's kind of insane. And there's going to be seeing everything jumping in there. The CC, I mean, it might just be worth cancelling it and starting to rebuild on the high ground already. I'm just going to see one Hellion going to jump around the side. Obviously, GuMiho is still building up back at home. There's another Hellion moving forwards, building his reactor now on his racks. Got to starport him to a tech lab. Raven or just a Cloak Banshee. Cloak Banshee it is. And there's INnoVation. Just cancel that expansion. Starts to expand in the main base. Good opening from GuMiho, but obviously again an opening which is intending to do damage, which is designed to do damage, to put him in a decent position. So INnoVation will lose this Hellion, but he will kill an SCV, so it's something at least. And we'll get one more shot. Might actually even get away with the Hellion. Just going to go up to the high ground, try and investigate what's going on. The fact that he's going for Raven is a big positive, at least. That's something which will go INnoVation's way. Having a Raven up against Cloak Banshees, always going to work out nicely as GuMiho expands to the low ground. Still does have the later expansion, but he doesn't have to float it into position, which is a big positive. And actually still this bunker over here, 2 Reapers inside of it, with the Hellion to join up as well. INnoVation's still not with a way to bust through that, unless he goes for maybe the auto turret bust, which has potential. Is he going to lose another SEV? Lets this Hellion into the main base. Doesn't let it in, but it manages to make it through. And again, INnoVation, another worker going down. A little bit of sloppy play so far in this TvT. And as we do see the CC still just building up over in the main. A couple of Reapers will start pushing forwards. Raven and these Marines trying to fight against it, push them back. Cloak about to finish up from GuMiho. Building a second Banshee as well, despite the fact he's seen a Raven, I find very interesting. We'll see if it works out for him as, again, just units gathering together up in the main base. And the CC morphing into an orbital. INnoVation definitely not the best at starts, but not over just yet. I mean, he's going to be able to follow up with the 2 Ravens. And again, if he shuts down these Banshees, should push him into a position where the game is pretty much even. He still does have the slightly faster CC, which he'll move into position now. Still has to break through the bunker, I guess, which is still going to be kind of frustrating as well. But let's see. I guess he's got the tank, right? So he can use the tank to bust through this super easily. Alright, so INnoVation will move in towards his natural expansion. We do see a bit of a push coming across from GuMiho. As we see him actually managing to salvage that bunker. Reaper's staying alive in the back of the mineral line. I like this from INnoVation, spreading out nicely, trying to make the most of this. Raven goes into, Banshee goes in towards the main. Ravens and Viking will respond. 4 or 5 workers already going down though. There we go, chasing this Banshee away. At the same time, tank will siege on the low ground. First Marine will get shot down. Marines from INnoVation getting hit as well. Now this isn't an issue. I mean, INnoVation has auto turrets, so he can very easily bust through this, and I think GuMiho respects that as he backs away here. However, Ravens come towards the front, so INnoVation is losing even more workers. I mean, you shouldn't have taken this much damage to the Banshees when you've got 2 Ravens up. And unfortunately, he has done. 17 workers going down. That's going to be INnoVation in a really, really difficult position to fight away from now. And what do you do now? You know, what do you do to fight against this at this point? You see the Hellion getting shot down. But he's going to push across the map. He does still have Ravens on his side. Let's see if it's going to be something that works out for him. It's amazing because actually INnoVation showed us great TvT throughout the WardiTV weeklies, which led into this, which kind of qualified him into this event as, oh, tank on the high ground is doing a lot of damage already. The auto turret's dropped though, so I mean, he'll bust through a lot of these tanks. He actually keeps one of his own tanks alive as well, but the Viking count is pretty insane here. He'll push back and kill one of the Ravens. What's in the natural expansion? Just 1 siege tank. Well, INnoVation, he's got potential right now. Just needs to split up his Marines a little bit. The Vikings will land as well, though. His own tank's landing. He's going to be able to maybe kill off some SCVs. He doesn't target them. He goes for Vikings instead. And SCVs do help to clean on out. INnoVation losing an army. Still down by 12 workers. Another tank not going to be able to do too much. The Vikings landing, really just changing that fight at that point. And that does allow GuMiho to defend, and INnoVation has to pull back to the upper left-hand side. So one tank coming in towards the top left, and we're just going to be seeing a third CC dropping down from GuMiho as well, and being just pushing his advantages. Actually, INnoVation with third CC already up, but not in position. And that, of course, does mean, well, that's actually just kind of interesting. INnoVation, third CC, and fastest second and third racks. Very interesting. Both players with engineering bays on the way. Despite being 11 workers down, INnoVation is actually not looking too bad in terms of production, in terms of tech structures, in terms of the third CC as well. Still has a Raven up. Still has a Raven up. Has been trying to harass with that. Will get shot down now by the Vikings. Will kill one Viking at least, so he gets something out of this. And he kills a couple of workers as well. 3 workers going down. Yeah, it's actually okay for INnoVation. It's starting to catch him back up in this game. 40 to 45 workers. Again, income for a long time here has been favorable to GuMiho. INnoVation bringing that back a little bit, and yeah, I mean, again, the third CC coming in a bit faster, so just some extra mules that might try and help him out a little bit too. We'll have to, again, though, float that into position, so you will lose SCV production for a few moments. I think it's just nice that we've seen INnoVation at least trying to make a game out of this, right? Because the way this went early on, it definitely looked as though GuMiho might just kind of steamroll through, and that we might just have like a 2-0 lead already in our first semi-final after like 10 in-game minutes. But INnoVation making a game out of it, and TvT is a game that, or matchup that can swap around, turn around very quickly. You know, one drop can kill so much, and a couple of tanks defensively plays that kill off a few Marines, and suddenly you're talking about the difference in 10, 15 supply, and games evening up out of nowhere almost. So a lot of potential right now for INnoVation to still stay in this, and he is still staying in this as well, but a lot of potential for this to go late. 91 supply apiece. GuMiho still with that income lead, and that is still something which he's has advantages from. His fastest impact's already finished. His combat shields will finish way ahead of INnoVation as well, which does make this push a little bit scary for INnoVation to defend against. Having to play against some combat shielded Marines without combat shields of your own can be difficult, although GuMiho doesn't have too many Marines in this. Has he got a drop or something? No, he's just got Marines at home that aren't doing anything. Well, let's see what he can do with this push as he comes up the left-hand side. He does have a small army supply advantages. INnoVation, though, he sees it coming in. He's even pulling this Marine back as well, as INnoVation sims preemptively. Very preemptive sim right there, and the Vikings going to stick overhead so they can keep the vision, and looks as though GuMiho will not be able to make too much more of an advantage, as we do see the tanks on siege, and INnoVation sees that, pushes forwards. One tank gets sniped. He pulls back. And it's again small fights, which INnoVation is winning right here. Just pushing them into, again, a position he can fight from. Damn 1-1 upgrades though, so these Marine trades are not going to go his way, especially without combat shields as well. 1-1 will finish shortly though. 2-2 not too far ahead from GuMiho. It'll be about a 30-second advantage going into those 2-2 upgrades, as long as INnoVation starts his own 2-2 pretty much straight away, which he does have the money to do. So he'll be able to start up 2-2 in a couple of seconds. There it is, 2-2 now on the way up. So 2-2 on the way. GuMiho dropping off some Marines to the right-hand side, but looks as though he's mostly just joining everything up together to continue kind of a very strong frontal push. Still 10 workers ahead, still very similar in army supplies though. As INnoVation, is he in the right positions here to figure out what is happening? Tank will start to fire, and, well, it's on the very edge of the base here, so he'll pick off one tank. One tank for one tank so far. But obviously this is a good position for GuMiho, and it will be difficult for INnoVation to bust out of this sort of location, as he will start to bring his own tanks into position over here. Are they in range of each other? I don't think they are. He'll kill a Marine on the low ground, but that's about it. INnoVation does have to scan his Vikings. Currently preoccupied to the left-hand side still as, drop across the map though. 10 workers killed. And that's what you mean. One drop can very quickly change so much in a TvT. And that's what's happening right here. 17 workers killed. Another drop in the main base, actually. INnoVation all over the place. And he's really starting to make GuMiho work for this now, as he takes an income lead, a worker lead. For the first time in a long time, more SCVs still dropping. GuMiho suddenly lost 30 workers. And there's another medevac still around as well, right? No, it's actually not got anything in it, though. As you're going to be seeing still this natural middle line of INnoVation, not able to fight for now. GuMiho scans to be able to hit here for a little while longer. Now the tanks will move into position to be able to fight this, as GuMiho does not have high ground vision, but there he goes, he gets the scan. One tank for one tank so far. It will go the favor of INnoVation, though, at the end. 2 tanks for 1. And now he sees the tanks on siege, and he'll stim forwards with some Marines, try and catch this off guard, but there's Marines nearby for GuMiho. INnoVation. 10 worker lead for himself then, and that will begin to change this game. He's going to stem forwards. He really wants to make something happen right now. As INnoVation feels, I mean, it was a good fight for him. Tank siege is up in the back already for GuMiho. GuMiho does not have reinforcements here just yet, as we're going to be seeing a lot of Marines over to the right-hand side. More reinforcements coming in. INnoVation has to be very, very careful with what he does about this. He's going to be seeing these Marines coming in, looking to see what he might be able to catch. He's got to be careful though. Again, attack from the left side too. Tanks are on siege. INnoVation is completely out of position. His tanks are just so exposed, but they will still siege up. Is it going to be enough? It's hard to say. I don't think so. INnoVation loses a lot. He lifts up, backs away. 2-2 finish for INnoVation now, but not during the fight, which gave GuMiho a little bit of an upper hand going into that. As now INnoVation, what does he do? He scans, he sees the situation. Neither play with a lot of siege tanks right here. INnoVation will send just 3 Marines towards the natural expansion. Anything to distract and try and do, or try and take whatever advantage he can. As INnoVation tries to take a position towards his own third base. Wants to be able to defend over here. Loses a medevac, a little bit of a stim up towards the natural as well, perhaps, as INnoVation trying to spread out, trying to just fight in multiple locations. He's just trying to figure out the best way to do this. He is killing workers across the map with that little bit of a drop. Is it enough, though, to stay in this game right here? SCVs will have to pull in, so he will now lose workers too, and INnoVation types out GG. That's going to be GuMiho go on Proxima Station game number 3 of the best of 5. INnoVation down by 2 will proxy to try and make it back. He's the blue Terran player at the bottom side of the map. Top right, red Terran from Psystorm Gaming. Double gas opening. It is GuMiho, as it will be the correct way to start against this. Let's see if it's going to be enough, as INnoVation tries to do what GuMiho did to him to take the initial 1-0 lead in this series. Second game, very back and forth, could have gone either way, really. And INnoVation definitely had opportunities, but unfortunately just messed it up towards the end, and so couldn't quite make it happen. So as we set up into this, we're going to see the first barracks about to finish, and obviously GuMiho, no scout so far, has no idea what's going on. And as he will now start to send... Oh, he's going to scout the proxy location. Oh, I mean, that just gives him a little bit of extra information, a little bit of extra time to prepare against it, so GuMiho finds it. It will still come down to micro, but of course, just that information can mean so much. SCV will immediately come up the ramp because there's going to be a bunker building. And I guess that's sort of the problem here on this map, the sense that, well, you know, you have like, you know, you can build a bunker and then you walled in, and then there's a little bit of an issue, right? And there's a little bit of an issue because how do you ever start to harass? Well, here we go. First Reaper arrives and will start to fight his way through these SCVs. Going to be trying to obviously just deny this bunker from ever being able to finish. We see a Reaper coming in now from GuMiho as well. He kills 2 SCVs so far. Bunker isn't up just yet. We'll continue to fight, and actually, the fight between the Reapers is pretty close. Turns around, kills an SCV. Still no bunker up. INnoVation messes up the micro at the end. Still no bunker finishing. Another Reaper comes forwards. An SCV. Does he target the SCV? What does he want to do? I think SCV might be a good choice. Because, man, if that bunker finishes, it's problematic. INnoVation will try and bring more Reapers forward here, as he will pick off 1 Reaper now. He'll get it before it goes into a bunker, but now his Reaper very low. And how does he find a way out? Grenade still on cooldown. His other Reaper on the way in. He will just make it his own fight, but still losing Reapers. Now the Hellion comes in from GuMiho, and it's just a 2-minute 50-second GG. GuMiho picks up a 3-0.